The sun was low in the sky, casting a warm, golden light over the small lake. The water reflected the colors of the sunset, painting a picture that seemed almost unreal. Armin adjusted his backpack and looked around nervously. He was supposed to meet someone here, someone unexpected, and the thought made his chest tighten. Armin worked as a junior engineer in a large interplanetary corporation. His boss, Mr. Hale, was strict and distant, always more concerned with numbers and profit than people. Armin respected him, but he had never felt close to the man. And yet, today, he was not meeting Mr. Hale. He was meeting someone else, someone whose name alone made his stomach twist. Armin? He turned quickly to see her standing at the edge of the lake. Mrs. Hale. Tall, poised, with a calm but unreadable expression. Her hair was pulled back neatly, and her eyes were sharp, intelligent, and, just slightly, mischievous. Mrs. Hale, Armin said, unsure whether to bow slightly or simply nod. He chose a nod. Ah, she smiled faintly. Thank you for coming, she said, her voice soft, almost musical. I know this is unusual. Armin swallowed. It's okay, he said, his voice cracking a little. He didn't know why he was so nervous. After all, this was just a meeting, just a conversation. But something about her calm confidence unsettled him. Come, she said, motioning to a small path that led along the water. I wanted to show you something. They walked in silence for a few minutes. The only sounds were the gentle lapping of water and the distant calls of alien birds perched on strange, luminous trees. The planet's evening air smelled faintly of pine and something sweet, a scent Armin could not name. Finally, Mrs. Hale stopped at a small wooden dock that jutted into the lake. She leaned slightly against the railing, looking out over the water. This place, it's my favorite. Not many people know about it. It's beautiful, Armin said. He meant it. The water shimmered in colors he had never seen before, a mix of blue, green, and violet that seemed to dance as the sun sank lower. I've never seen anything like this. Mrs. Hale's eyes followed his gaze. It's special, she said. Then, after a pause, she added, and sometimes, special things need to be kept secret. Armin frowned slightly. He didn't understand what she meant, but he nodded anyway. She turned to face him fully, and for a moment, her expression softened. I need someone I can trust, she said quietly. And you? I think you might be that person. No. Armin's heart skipped a beat. Trust? From her? He barely knew her, but he could see the seriousness in her eyes, the weight behind her words. Trust me with what? He asked, trying to sound calm. She hesitated, as if deciding how much to reveal. Then, she stepped closer, lowering her voice. There are things happening in your company. Things your boss is hiding. Armin's mind raced. Hiding? What do you mean? She looked around, as if making sure no one else was near. I can't tell you everything here. Not yet, but I can show you something. Something important. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small, flat device. It was sleek, black, and emitted a soft blue glow. She handed it to him. This is proof, she said simply. Proof that not everything your company does is as it seems. Armin took the device cautiously. It was heavier than he expected. When he activated it, a holographic display appeared above his palm. Images, diagrams, and streams of data flashed quickly. He tried to take it all in. This is incredible, he said. But why show me? Why me? Mrs. Hale looked at him seriously. Because you're different, she said. You think. You question. Most people here just follow orders. But you You notice things. Armand felt a mix of pride and fear. I don't know if I can do anything, he admitted. She smiled faintly. You don't have to do it alone, but you do have to start somewhere. And right now, that start is here. For a few moments, they stood together in silence. The lake seemed to glow brighter as the sun sank lower, the bioluminescent water pulsing gently. Armand felt a strange sense of awe, as if the lake itself was alive, watching, waiting. Come closer, Mrs. Hale said suddenly, pointing to the end of the dock. Armand stepped forward cautiously. Beneath the surface, he could see a faint glow, moving in patterns that seemed almost deliberate. What is that? He asked, leaning closer. Mrs. Hale shook her head. I don't know, but it's not natural. I discovered it when I came here last month, and I think it's connected to your company. Armand felt a chill run down his spine. Connected how? Your company has been experimenting with alien technology, she said quietly. They've been hiding it, controlling it. But this is different. It's alive. And if they find it, it could be dangerous not just for them, but for everyone on this planet. Armand swallowed hard. The responsibility in front of him felt enormous. And you want me to… What? Help you? I want you to promise me something first, she said, looking directly into his eyes. Whatever happens, you do not tell anyone. Not your boss. Not anyone else. Not yet. Can you do that? Can you do that? Armand hesitated. The right thing seemed obvious, but the wrong thing could be catastrophic. Finally, he nodded. I promise. A small smile appeared on her face, brief but genuine. Good, she said, because what happens next will change everything. They stayed at the dock until the sky turned dark, stars beginning to appear in the alien sky. The lake reflected the constellations, creating a mirrored galaxy on the water's surface. For a moment, the world felt quiet, almost peaceful. But both of them knew that peace would not last. Something in the lake pulsed again. Faster this time, as if sensing their presence. And Armand, holding the mysterious device, realized that his life and the colony would never be the same. Mrs. Hale finally spoke, her voice low but steady. Tomorrow, we go back. We find out what this really is, and when we do, you will see why I needed someone like you here. Armand nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He had no idea what awaited him, but he knew one thing for certain. From this moment on, he could never look at his company or the people he thought he knew the same way again. As they walked back toward the small cabin where she had parked her transport, Armand's mind raced. The lake glowed faintly behind them, a quiet reminder of secrets beneath the surface. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he knew he had made a choice that would test his courage, his morality, and everything he thought he knew about the world. And somehow, he knew he was ready. The morning air was crisp as Armand followed Mrs. Hale back to the lake. The sky was painted in soft oranges and pinks, and the alien trees reflected the light in a way that made the whole area seem magical. Yet Armand's mind was far from relaxed. Last night's promise still weighed on him heavily. They walked in silence along the narrow path to the dock. Each step felt slower than the last, as if the lake itself were drawing them closer to some unseen truth. Are you sure about this? Armand asked finally, breaking the quiet. About showing me whatever it is? Mrs. Hale didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked out over the water, her eyes reflecting the gentle waves. I have to be sure you can handle it, she said after a moment. This isn't just a secret, it's dangerous. And it's not the kind of danger most people can understand. Armand swallowed nervously. I'll do my best. Your best has to be enough, she said quietly, then nodded toward the water. Come, look closer. They reached the end of the dock. The lake was calm, but beneath the surface, a faint glow pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. Armand leaned over the railing, mesmerized. What is it? He whispered. I don't know, Mrs. Hale admitted. It's not just a natural phenomenon. I've seen similar energy readings near some of the company's labs. I think this lake might be the origin of the technology your company is exploiting. Armand's heart skipped a beat. Origin? Yes, she said. Whatever your company is experimenting with, it's coming from something alive, something intelligent. The thought made Armand uneasy. He had studied alien life forms before, but nothing like this. Glowing and pulsing as if aware of them, suggested a mind they could not fully comprehend. Why haven't they found it? He asked. They have, Mrs. Hale said softly, her tone darkening. But they don't understand it. They think they can control it. They're wrong. Armand shivered. And that's why you brought me here? Yes, she said. Because I need someone who will see it clearly. Someone who won't blindly follow orders. Someone human. Armand looked down at the glowing lake, feeling a mixture of awe and fear. I don't even know where to start. Mrs. Hale handed him the small black device again. Start here, she said. This will help you understand. It records the energy patterns of the lake. It can help you see things your eyes alone cannot. Armand took it, noting how warm it felt in his hands. When he activated the device, a holographic display appeared above it. The same glowing images as yesterday appeared, but now they pulsed in sync with the lake itself. Lines and nodes connected, like a neural network, moving with purpose. It's alive, Armand murmured. Yes, Mrs. Hale said. And we need to understand what it wants, or at least what it is capable of. Armand's mind raced. If it's alive, if it can think, what happens if the company finds it? They will try to control it, Mrs. Hale said simply. And that would be a disaster. It could be dangerous. Or worse, it could be lost forever. Armand stared into the water, feeling the weight of the situation settle on his shoulders. He had always thought his job was about building and maintaining machines. But this was bigger. It was about life itself. And now, he was part of it. Suddenly, the lake pulsed stronger, and the water rippled, as if something beneath the surface had shifted. Armand stepped back instinctively. See? Mrs. Hale said, her voice calm but firm. It's aware of us. Armand swallowed. What does it want? Mrs. Hale shook her head. I don't know. But we need to find out. And, carefully, one wrong move, and we could trigger something we can't control. They spent hours near the dock, studying the patterns and energy readings on the device. Slowly, Armand began to notice something. The pulses were not random. They followed certain patterns, almost like signals. Maybe it's trying to communicate, he said, pointing at the display. Mrs. Hale leaned closer, her eyes narrowing. Perhaps. Or perhaps it's testing us. Either way, we need to respond carefully. As the morning passed, Armand noticed that the lake's glow was changing color slightly, shifting from blue to green. He frowned. Does that mean anything? I think it's showing us something, Mrs. Hale said. Something important. But we have to wait and watch. We cannot rush it. The silence stretched. Only the occasional rustle of alien leaves broke the quiet. Then, without warning, a series of small, concentric ripples spread across the lake, faster than natural waves should move. The glow intensified, and the water began to swirl as if something large was moving beneath the surface. Armand's heart raced. What is that? I don't know. Mrs. Hale said calmly, though her eyes were sharp. But we are about to find out. Suddenly, a shape broke the surface. Not large, but sleek and shimmering, like liquid metal shaped into a creature. Its eyes, or whatever they were, glowed faintly, scanning the dock. Armin took an instinctive step back, gripping the device tightly. Mrs. Hale held up a hand. "Stay calm," she said. "It's not attacking. At least, not yet." The creature circled them slowly, its movements smooth and deliberate. Armand realized it was intelligent, testing them, gauging their reactions. He swallowed. "What do we do?" "Observe," Mrs. Hale said. "Do not panic. Do not move too quickly. Let it show us what it wants." The creature paused, hovering a few meters from the dock. Then, almost imperceptibly, it pulsed a soft light toward the device in Armin's hands. He felt a strange warmth as the holographic display responded, changing patterns to form shapes resembling basic symbols. "It's communicating," Armin whispered, eyes wide. Mrs. Hale nodded. "Or trying to. This is the first time it has reacted to a human. Your human mind, your choices, are different from the company's machines. It notices that." Armand felt a strange pride mixed with fear. Humans, he realized, were not just capable of thinking and problem-solving. They could connect in ways the machines could not. And this creature, this being beneath the lake, was showing him that human intuition and understanding had value no algorithm could replace. Hours passed as they studied the creature. Slowly, Armin began to sense patterns in its movements. Certain gestures corresponded to changes in the device. Others seemed to indicate curiosity, caution, even trust. At one point, Mrs. Hale glanced at him. "You see it too, don't you? Humans, we can connect in ways the company cannot. We can understand, adapt, think morally. This is why you are here, Armand. To prove that humans are not just tools, they are capable of empathy, courage, and judgment." Armand nodded, the weight of responsibility settling on him. He had always thought of humans as ordinary, replaceable. But now, staring into the intelligent eyes of the lake creature, he understood something profound. Human uniqueness was not about strength or technology. It was about choice, awareness, and morality. The day wore on, and the lake gradually calmed. The creature retreated beneath the surface, leaving only faint ripples. Armin and Mrs. Hale stood on the dock, exhausted but exhilarated. "Tomorrow," she said finally, "we begin the real work. We need to understand it fully, and then we need to protect it." Armand nodded, looking down at the now calm water. He felt a deep respect for this being, for Mrs. Hale, and for the human mind that could see beyond greed and control. Whatever lay ahead, he knew they would face it together. The sun began to set, casting long shadows over the alien trees. The lake reflected the sky once more, peaceful and mysterious. Armand felt a strange mixture of fear and excitement. This was just the beginning, and he had a sense that what awaited them would test everything he thought he knew about life, loyalty, and courage. And as they left the dock, heading back to the small cabin, Armin knew one thing. The lake's secret was alive, aware, and perhaps waiting for humans to prove they were worthy of understanding it. The next morning, Armand awoke with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The events at the lake yesterday were still fresh in his mind. He had seen something alive, something intelligent, and he knew that the company could never understand it. But now, the danger he had feared was no longer just a possibility, it was real. Mrs. Hale met him outside the small cabin, her expression calm but determined. "We don't have much time," she said. "I've been monitoring the company's communications. Someone knows we're here." Armin's stomach tightened. Already? But we haven't done anything yet. That's the problem, she said. Even being here, even observing, is enough to alarm them. They will want to take control of the lake and its secret before anyone else finds out. Armand nodded. He had always trusted his boss to be fair, but this was different. This was not about fairness or profit, it was about life itself. Let's go, Mrs. Hale said. She led him to the dock, where the lake was calm in the morning light, hiding the secrets beneath its surface. They began their observations again, studying the energy patterns, the subtle movements of the water, and the faint pulsing light of the creature beneath. Armand felt a growing connection with the being. It was intelligent, curious, and cautious. But it seemed to recognize him as something different from the company's agents. Suddenly, a sharp noise broke the quiet. Armand froze. Mrs. Hale's eyes narrowed. "They're here," she whispered. From the forest bordering the lake, two figures emerged. Clad in the company's uniform, they carried scanning devices and looked ready to move fast. Armand's heart pounded. He had promised not to tell anyone. Now, someone else had discovered them. "What do we do?" he asked, panic rising. "Follow me," Mrs. Hale said, her voice calm but urgent. She grabbed his hand and pulled him toward a narrow trail winding through the trees. "We need to protect the lake, and ourselves." The two ran, the underbrush crunching under their feet. Armand's mind raced. He had been trained to handle machines, data, and small technical emergencies, but this was different. This was real danger. And they were not just protecting technology, they were protecting life. Behind them, the company agents followed, their scanners emitting faint blue pulses as they searched for the lake's secret. The terrain was uneven, with alien trees, sharp rocks, and sudden dips in the ground. But Armand quickly realized that humans had one advantage: adaptability. Unlike the rigid machines and scanners, their minds could react, improvise, and find solutions no algorithm could predict. They reached a steep incline, and Mrs. Hale paused, looking back. "We need a diversion," she said. "We can't outrun them for long, but we can slow them down." Armand looked around, his eyes landing on a small fallen tree near the trail. "What if we use that?" he suggested. Mrs. Hale nodded. "Good. Help me push it into the path. It will slow them down. Give us time to reach the river crossing." Together, they heaved the tree onto the trail. It fell with a loud crash, blocking the path and forcing the agents to stop and maneuver around it. Armand felt a surge of relief. Human intuition and quick thinking had given them a small advantage. "Keep moving," Mrs. Hale said. They ran again, heart pounding, adrenaline surging through their veins. The trail led them to a narrow bridge spanning a rushing river. The water below was swift and dangerous, but Mrs. Hale didn't hesitate. "We can cross, but we need to move carefully," she said. Armand followed, gripping the railing tightly. The agents were not far behind, shouting orders and trying to coordinate their scanners. But the humans' adaptability gave them an edge. They moved quickly, silently communicating with gestures and nods, reading the terrain and each other with a level of instinct no machine could replicate. Halfway across the bridge, Armand glanced down at the rushing water below. He shivered. "It's fast," he said. "Yes," Mrs. Hale replied. "But we have to trust ourselves and each other." They reached the other side safely, the agents still struggling with the fallen tree on the trail. For the first time, Armand felt a flicker of hope. Humans, he realized, could survive by thinking, adapting, and acting with courage, even when facing danger far greater than they had ever imagined. They continued through the forest, moving toward a series of caves Mrs. Hale had discovered earlier. "This is where the lake's secret is safest," she explained. "The caves shield it from sensors and scanners. If we can reach it, we can set up a protective barrier using the energy patterns of the lake." Armin nodded, his hands gripping the device. They moved as quickly and quietly as possible, navigating the alien terrain. He noticed that the glow from the lake beneath his feet seemed to follow them subtly, as if guiding them. "Do you think it understands?" he asked. Mrs. Hale smiled faintly. "I think it does. Humans are unusual. We observe, we think, we feel. The lake's intelligence can sense that. It knows we mean no harm." As they reached the entrance to the caves, Armin paused, catching his breath. The mouth of the cave was wide and dark, but faint bioluminescent streaks marked the interior walls. The lake's energy pulsed faintly even here, a reminder of its presence. Mrs. Hale led him inside. "We need to set up the device," she said. "It will connect with the lake and form a protective barrier. Nothing from outside can reach it, while the device is active." Armin worked quickly, following her instructions. He adjusted the device's settings, calibrating it to match the energy patterns they had observed. The holographic display flickered and pulsed, then stabilized, forming a shimmering, translucent barrier around the entrance of the cave. "Good," Mrs. Hale said. "It's working." Outside, they could hear faint sounds of the agents still searching, calling to each other. But the barrier hid the cave and the lake's secret. For now, they were safe. Armin exhaled, relief washing over him. "We did it," he said, a small smile on his face. Mrs. Hale nodded. "For now. But this is only the beginning. They will not give up easily, and we must be ready for whatever comes next." Armin looked around the cave, watching the gentle pulsing of the holographic display. The lake's intelligence seemed to respond to it, glowing brighter, as if in approval. A sense of awe filled him. Humans, he realized, could protect life not by force, but by understanding, ingenuity, and courage. "Tomorrow," Mrs. Hale said, breaking the silence, "we will return to the lake. We need to learn more from it. And we need to prepare for the company's next move. They will try again. And next time, it may be more dangerous." Armin nodded, feeling a sense of determination he had never known. "I understand. I'll do whatever it takes." She looked at him, her eyes reflecting a mix of respect and hope. "I know you will. And that is why humans your kind are different. You can see beyond greed, beyond control. You can protect life because you value it." As they settled in the cave for the night, the bioluminescent walls casting gentle light, Armin reflected on the events of the day. He had faced real danger, adapted, and survived not through strength alone, but through thinking, observation, and courage. The lake's secret was safe for now, and he understood something profound. Humans had something machines, sensors, and scanners could never replicate. Outside, the wind rustled through the alien trees, carrying the faint sounds of the lake. Armin could feel the pulse of the water even here, a gentle reminder of the intelligence they had sworn to protect. He knew the company would not stop. They would return, stronger and more determined. But humans, he realized, had something even more powerful: the ability to think, adapt, and make choices that machines could never predict. And with that knowledge, he felt ready for whatever came next. The morning sun peeked through the cave entrance, casting long beams of light across the bioluminescent walls. Armin stretched, feeling the tension of the past 2 days still heavy in his muscles. Mrs. Hale was already awake, standing near the edge of the protective barrier that shielded the lake's secret. "Time to go back," she said quietly, her voice calm but firm. "We need to learn as much as we can today, before the company realizes we've disappeared from their sensors." Armin nodded. The adrenaline of yesterday still lingered, but today felt different. Today, they would uncover the truth, not just about the lake, but about what humans could do When faced with the unknown, they made their way back to the dock. The lake shimmered under the morning light, calm and quiet, yet alive. The water pulsed faintly, almost as if it recognized them. Armin held the small device carefully, ready to record whatever the lake would show them next. "Do you think it will reveal itself fully?" he asked, glancing at Mrs. Hale. She shook her head. "We don't know. But we do know it's intelligent. And it's responding to humans differently than it responds to technology. That is our advantage." Armand stepped onto the dock, watching the gentle ripples. The lake's glow intensified slightly, as if acknowledging their presence. Then, without warning, the surface of the water shifted. A figure emerged, sleek, luminous, and humanoid in shape, though clearly alien. Its eyes, or the closest things to eyes, glowed softly, radiating curiosity rather than threat. Armand's breath caught. "It's beautiful," he whispered. Mrs. Hale placed a hand on his shoulder. "Yes, and it's alive, and we are the first humans it has trusted enough to show itself fully." The creature raised one arm, or what could be considered an arm, and pulsed light toward Armand. The device in his hands responded immediately, displaying symbols and patterns that slowly formed into shapes resembling maps, lines, and instructions. It was communicating. Armin studied the display, trying to understand. "It wants us to follow it?" "Yes," Mrs. Hale said. "And it wants us to learn, to protect it, to prevent the company from exploiting it." Armin nodded. "I think I understand. We need to work with it, not against it." The creature moved gracefully, leading them to a small, hidden inlet along the lake's edge. There, partially submerged, was a crystalline structure, glowing faintly with the same pulses as the lake. Armin realized that this must be the source of the energy, the origin of the intelligence they had been protecting. "Everything your company has been experimenting with comes from this," Mrs. Hale said softly. "And they didn't even know it was alive." Armin felt a mixture of awe and fear. "We need to document this," he said. "We need proof that this is living, intelligent, and connected to the lake." He activated the device, recording every detail. The holographic display captured the energy flows, the crystalline structure, and the creature's movements. For the first time, Armin felt a deep sense of responsibility not just to Mrs. Hale, not just to the lake, but to life itself. Humans had the ability to protect, to understand, and to act morally. And this was his moment to prove it. Suddenly, a sharp noise came from the forest. Armin and Mrs. Hale froze. The company agents had returned, more numerous this time, equipped with scanners and drones. They had clearly tracked their movements overnight. "We have company," Mrs. Hale said, her voice steady. "We need to act fast." Armand looked at the lake, then at the creature. It pulsed light toward them, almost like a warning. "We need a plan," he said quickly. Mrs. Hale nodded. "We will use the device. The lake's intelligence can protect itself, but we need to amplify it. Follow my instructions." Together, they adjusted the device, linking it to the energy of the crystalline structure. The lake's glow intensified, spreading across the water in waves of light. The creature moved gracefully, weaving patterns into the pulses. Armin realized that the lake was responding to them, trusting them to defend it. Outside, the company agents approached, scanning the area. But as soon as their devices entered the lake's protective energy, alarms went off. The drones flickered, their sensors overloaded. The agents tried to push forward, but the lake's intelligence, combined with the device, created a barrier they could not penetrate. Armin felt a rush of exhilaration. "It's working!" he shouted. "They can't get through!" Mrs. Hale smiled, a rare moment of relief. "Human intuition, courage, and quick thinking," she said. That's why we can succeed where machines fail. The agents realized they were outmatched. Their scanners failed, their drones shut down, and they had no way to break through the protective energy. With frustrated shouts, they retreated into the forest, leaving the lake untouched. Armand exhaled, feeling the weight of the moment. They had protected something truly unique, not with weapons or force, but with intelligence, trust, and courage. Humans, he realized, were capable of more than following orders or exploiting resources. They could protect life, understand the unknown, and make moral choices that no machine could replicate. Mrs. Hale placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did well," she said. "We did well. But the work is not over. We must ensure the lake remains protected, and that its intelligence is respected." Armand nodded. "We can do that. Together." The creature rose from the water one last time, pulsing a soft, golden light. Armand felt a strange warmth in his chest, a connection forming between humans and the lake's intelligence. It was a silent promise of trust, a bond that could not be broken by greed or fear. As the sun began to set, casting the sky in shades of orange and purple, Armand and Mrs. Hale stood on the dock, watching the lake. The energy pulses slowed, gentle and steady, as if satisfied. "We will report the company's actions," Mrs. Hale said, her voice calm but resolute. "But we will protect the lake's secret. Humanity can learn from this, if we choose to act wisely." Armand nodded, feeling a profound sense of purpose. He had faced danger, adapted, and acted with courage. He had witnessed something extraordinary, and he had learned something vital about human potential. Humans were not just tools of corporations or machines. They were thinkers, protectors, and moral agents, capable of rising to challenges no other species could handle. For the first time in his life, Armand felt truly proud to be human. As darkness fell over the alien forest, the lake pulsed softly beneath the stars, alive and intelligent, yet protected. Armand and Mrs. Hale walked back to the small cabin, ready to rest but fully aware that tomorrow, and every day after, would bring new challenges. But one truth remained clear. With courage, intelligence, and morality, humans could face the unknown and protect what truly mattered. And the lake, with its mysterious intelligence, had chosen them as its guardians. Armand smiled faintly. Whatever the future held, he knew this. Humanity had proved its value not through power, but through the ability to think, feel, and act with purpose. And that, he realized, was a gift no machine or corporation could ever take away. The night was quiet. The stars shone above, mirrored in the calm water of the lake, and for the first time, in a long while, Armand felt at peace. Humans had survived, not by force, but by understanding. And that, he knew, was the true strength of humanity.